Okay. So I don't even know where to begin. First UFC 137 is going to be, you know, GSP, Nick Diaz for the title. Cool. I'm excited. Haven't been excited like that for a long time for any pay-per-view. Okay. Already planning ahead a party for it, basically. Then, a day or so ago, I hear, no, Diaz didn't show up for this press conference, and Diaz didn't show up for that press conference. And then Dana White goes live on his press conference and says, you know what, he's out. I'm afraid he's not going to show up to the fight, and, I can't take that kind of risk. For people who don't know anything about Nick Diaz, he's done stuff like this in Strikeforce for fucking ever, okay? It's not the first time that he's done things like this. It's just the way the guy is, okay? You take the goods with the bads. I really wanted to see this fight, personally, okay? I was looking forward to it. To me, it was the biggest fight since Pride was merged with the UFC, because they were going to unify the title, basically, okay? For people who didn't know, the Strikeforce welterweight champion was Nick Diaz. He had to vacate the title just to fight. But to me, it was really disappointing. I was really disappointed. I got a text message from a friend. They were like, "Hey, Diaz is out." And I'm like, "What? Are you fucking serious? Diaz is out. Diaz is out right now. Are you fucking serious?" And then I looked it up. I was like, "Oh my fucking god, are you fucking serious?" And then to me, I was like, what the I got so mad, like, I really wanted to, like, fucking throw some shit, okay? Because I didn't fucking feel like, hey, I felt like this was the biggest fight in the last few years for the UFC. The biggest fight that you could possibly do, okay? And then Dana White throws in Carlos Condit. Granted, nothing against Carlos Condit, okay? The dude fucks people up, okay? He knocks motherfuckers out. But I see the fight going GSP's way simply because I know GSP's just going to take him down and beat the shit out of him with ground and pound. Okay? It's just how GSP is. Now, granted, Carlos Condit might hit him with a surprise hit and cake him. It could happen. Okay? Everybody knows that in MMA, you can punch somebody out of nowhere and it could be over just like that. It don't matter who you are. But I really do see this fight going in GSP's favor now, okay? With Nick, GSP had to worry about his boxing, okay? Obviously, Carlos Condit is a better striker than Nick Diaz, okay? That's his game, though, But, at the end of the day, Nick's no slouch. Nick can fucking throw, okay? He can squab with people. He's not he no bitch on his feet, okay? And people are saying, oh, he ain't got nothing for GSP. I got news for you, man. If you don't believe that, you need to go fucking watch some other fights with Nick, because Nick can fucking throw. Okay? My main thing was, GSP's, his whole game really is taking people down and just dominating, okay? With Nick, he wouldn't do that. That's the thing. And that's what made it such an exciting thing for me. I was going to be, okay, how's GSP going to, go against Nick? And to me, that was what really made it disappointing. I thought it would be a more exciting fight than Carlos Condit versus GSP. Okay, so the next day or so, the internet's freaking going crazy with people either saying, fuck Diaz, he's a fucking asshole, blah, 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 blah. He don't deserve to fight a world caliber champion such as, GSP. Well, I got news for you guys, okay? Nick Diaz is one of the top welterweights in the world, okay? One of the best welterweights in the entire fucking world, okay? He basically, to me, since there is no welterweight champion in Strikeforce, he is the Strikeforce welterweight champion, okay? Alright? And the UFC is not the one all of MMA, okay? If you don't believe that, then you're not a fucking true fan, okay? So for people who are saying he's not at the same caliber as GSP, then you aren't even a real MMA fan. You don't know anything about what you're talking about right now, okay? You need to go do some research and figure out what MMA is all about and basically try to take your mind off the whole UFC is all there is, because it's not. Okay. So that was basically craziness. It was all in the media. I mean, they had, it was on the newspaper. The news had stories about it. It was the top thing. It's probably one of the biggest stories of the last few days. Okay. And then, yesterday, I get another text from my friend, and I guess they were looking at MMA news. Now, since BJ Penn didn't have a fight, they're gonna throw Diaz at BJ Penn. Okay, here's my problem with this. The reason Dana White takes Diaz off of a card is because he doesn't show up for his job. When you have a job, you have to show up for it. Just the way it is. But now he's putting him back on the card against BJ Penn. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I'm just not understanding what's going on right now. I mean, you're gonna take the guy off of the championship fight, the main event, and you're gonna put him in the co-main event, which is basically the same shit, and you're putting him against BJ Penn. Okay, granted, honestly, BJ Penn's gonna give him more trouble than GSP would, in my opinion. It's a better matchup for Nick to fight against GSP. Just the way it is. Nick's ground game is not going to be able to... I mean, it's about... Him and BJ are going to be stalemated on the ground. Okay? No one's going to submit anybody. Okay? It's just the way it is. I see this going to be this is going to be a boxing match. Okay? Nick's a bigger fighter than BJ. But BJ is an excellent boxer. So it's going to be... honestly, I think this fight's going to take the entire card. I think this fight will be the fight of the night. Just the way it is. I don't think that St. Pierre versus Condit's going to even be a great fight, simply because they're always boring, like, nowadays. When was the last time GSP, out of his last couple fights, his 9 fights, I think he didn't finish 6 of them. Nick finished 9 out of 10 of his last fights, so I think his and BJ Penn's fights could be way more exciting. I'm a little bit skeptical about the whole situation, though. I do believe there is something fishy going on. It seems way too strange that, Dana White takes Nick out of the main event, but he puts, BJ Penn in, and then, now all of a sudden, like, everything's okay. Like, BJ Penn, Nate Diaz, yeah, co-main event, no problem, But, when Nick wants to fight for the title... no, yeah, he missed a press conference or two. He's out. Gotta get him out of here. And then, I don't know if I'm ever gonna talk. And then he goes on the media and he says, I don't know if I'm ever gonna talk to this guy again. Are you fucking kidding me? I honestly, I think the whole thing is a publicity stunt for UFC 137. That's my belief. I believe that Dana White set this whole fucking thing up as a publicity stunt for UFC 137. Because honestly, how many people were really looking forward to UFC 137? I mean, it wasn't as big. But now, even people who aren't involved with the whole MMA crowd are like, oh fuck, like, this he fucking didn't go to his job, blah 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 blah. It's in the news. You can't buy publicity like that. It's just the way it is. You cannot buy publicity like that. So, I don't even know, man. I was thinking about not buying this pay-per-view because I was pissed. Okay, but now I don't know, man. I'm gonna have to do some thinking about it. This does seem like a better card. But now, since BJ Penn's on there against Diaz, both great fighters. Personally, I think that should be the main event. I mean, GSP, he's a great fighter. I think people give him more credit than he should be getting. I mean, granted, he is an awesome fighter. One of the best ever to fight. But you know what? Don't take credit away from people just because you don't know a lot about him. Give him a chance. I mean, Diaz is a beast. I think you'll see, win or lose. Win or lose. I think you will see that Nick Diaz, he's gonna bring a fight, and it's gonna be probably gonna be one of the more entertaining fights that you'll see this year. But until then, like I said, I think it's a big publicity stunt. And that's just my thoughts. What do you guys think? Leave some comments. Thanks for watching the rant, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.